In conjunction with Cross Rhythms Radio, I'm delighted to welcome another of this year's University of Staffordshire Business Awards finalists to the studio. I'm going to hand over and let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Joseph Bailey, and I am the co-owner of the Quarter at Potbank with my wife Anne-Marie Bailey, and we are here today to talk about the awards.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now you're a finalist in the High Street Impact Award.
Absolutely, yes. It's a wonderful accolade to have even at this point, to be a finalist and to be recognised as a business that's making an impact to our local high streets is really testament to the vision that we set out almost 10 years ago now when we opened on Piccadilly, and we started off just thinking we're going to be a nice little sleepy 10 till 4 coffee shop, and then suddenly boom, we kind of turned into this huge multi-million pound business that we are today now, relocated to another high street area in the centre of Stoke, in one of our heritage sites in Spode, and I think that journey really of the high street and how important it was for us to be on a high street is really coming to fruition now, and understanding the impact that business has, the part we play in maintaining footfall, driving people to different locations in what is a challenging kind of situation across the whole of the UK, with retail changing, moving online, the way people shop, the way people spend money, it's so different. So the fact that we're having this as a category really shows that, you know, there are businesses like ourselves really wanting to keep the high streets alive and really have actual real people, you know, coming in through the doors.
Well, for anyone listening today who isn't familiar with your business, I find that hard to believe because everyone knows your business, but if they don't, let's start at the beginning and tell a little bit of the chronological story. So about 10 years ago you opened up in Piccadilly.
Yes. So we were looking at the locations first of all, and obviously Hanley at the time was and still is our main city centre, our main town centre, with the biggest retailers, the most food and beverage offerings, where the banks were, post office, so on, all of the key things that you work through for footfall, because ultimately you need people to walk through the doors. So we set up on Piccadilly, and we opened in the December, just before Christmas, not really knowing, we had no experience of running hospitality businesses. I'd worked for many years with Marks and Spencer, so understood retail, and we were both teachers after that, and we ran a franchise of theatre schools, so we kind of had a little bit of corporate work, franchise work, but never anything independent. So we opened up, and pretty much as we opened up those doors, we were suddenly hit with this barrage of interest, which was absolutely fantastic, and we suddenly realised, oh, there's a market here that is missing, there's a gap there, and we then became really the catalyst, I think, for other people being confident to open up in the area, which was great, because the more places you have open, the more confidence there is. It really encourages good social behaviour, because people are trading, people are open, lights are on, life is there, activity is there. So we were there then for a number of years up until through COVID. So we had all those challenges of COVID where we realigned the business to a monstrous takeaway.
Constantly pivoting.
Constantly. Yes. And I think that the nature of food and beverage and hospitality, it has to evolve and pivot, just simply because the margins in the industry are so tight that you are constantly reacting to customer demand. Obviously with the use of social media platforms, the way people access information visually, how they're stimulated to go and spend their money is so different and was constantly evolving through that time. So as a business, you have to kind of stay one step ahead of a game, but you're then the next week another step ahead.
You've had so many obstacles, haven't you, thrown at you? You know, a global pandemic.
Yes.
Problems with, you know, people coming into the high street, etc. And every time you found a way around it.
Yes, and I think that's the key to it. When you're independent in your own business, you can turn on a dime. Huge corporations are like a cruise ship. They turn very, very slowly because of the hierarchy, the red tape, the systems and operations they have to go through. For us, we have an idea, and ultimately we answer to ourselves, so we could turn very quickly and go, let's try it. If it works great. If it doesn't, we can just stop. You know, I think the key to that is we are a high employer, which a lot of people didn't understand. So actually we were very, very structured like a corporate. We have a big team. At the time through COVID, we were employing 100 people across the two sites because we just opened up in Spode, and so communication was key to them. They have to be as flexible and have to be on board with all of this. So we had to engage our team as well as engage the customers. And that the word pivot is pinnacle really to, I think, the success of most businesses. But I think food and beverage and hospitality leisure is really crucial because today's kind of stories are tomorrow's fish and chip paper, and that's very, very key in our industry as well, that what people want tomorrow is very different to what they sometimes want today.
Yeah, so it's sort of almost fortune telling, looking ahead.
Completely.
What do we think people will want to do?
Yes. And risk taking,
Yes.
You've got to take the risk. Nobody moves forward unless any form of risk is taken. Of course, they become more calculated the more experience you get.
Yes.
Naivety is great in some respects because you just go for it. So in the early years, we were just trying anything, dipping our toe in the water, seeing how it impacted the high street, seeing how the high street was impacting us. So it's a two-way thing as well. And that's why, we were very key in our locations, because that is so important that it's a two-way thing. It's not just what you bring to the high street, it's what the high street can bring to you.
Yes.
So having that awareness it was really key for us, as then we evolved into a bigger venue in a new site, in a new town. We kept the two sites open for a period of time, but as I alluded to earlier, it's just myself and my wife. We don't have a board of investors. We don't have a structure of. It's just us two. We're the two.
Yes.
We own the business. We work in the business. We protect the business. We grow it. We shrink it. We have to look at it, and it was best for us as a fit to then sadly close Piccadilly, which was a viable business. It was nothing to do with. It wasn't making money. It was just physically impossible for us to manage to the standards. We have such high standards because, again, our industry is so unforgiving. The moment your standards drop, that's it. People don't come back, and you can't afford for that to happen.
Yes.
So because of our high standards, because of our ability to take things on board, but also understand we have to protect ourselves, because without us, our business doesn't function, because we are very much the face and very ingrained in our business's success, as well as our business's failings. We take the rough with the smooth. We had to protect ourselves to make sure we could protect the business, to protect the employment and the future growth of it. So we closed Piccadilly, and then we had to absorb everything there, all of our costs. We still owned the building, which we then needed to see if we could pass forward. So we just then went hell for leather really in Spode site, took the opportunities of a bigger site, the flexibility of working with the asset company that owned the building. As we wanted to grow with ideas, they were able to put those in place. So we opened a factory floor, which was more of the nighttime economy, looking at the cabaret side, the live music, coupled with our historical strong restauranting experience. And then we went into weddings, so we were then looking at a different market.
So you opened a cafe, and now you have a venue, don't you?
Yes.
Multi-purpose.
Multifaceted venue that drives people into the location for what we always try and have is a power of 10. We've always looked at that. So can they come to us for 10 different things throughout a period of time, and each time have a different experience?
Yes.
Which means then we get repeat business, which then creates stability. It means people are spending with us and reinvesting their money into the economy, but can come one week for music, another week for afternoon tea, attend somebody's wedding, come to a bottomless brunch, just come for breakfast. And so we just kept those plates spinning.
Yes.
And in a city like Stoke-on-Trent, which is very nucleated within its own areas of the towns, it is really important that you do give people lots of reasons to come to you, because that's when you suddenly lose them and they navigate outside of the four walls of the city.
Yes.
But if you can encourage them to come in because they can have that multi-purpose experience multiple times, then you're kind of generating your own village within your own economy, and it gives that variety for people, and it gives the variety for people to make choice, but they can still choose your business but make a different choice within it, and that's really been key to us, really, is in making sure we keep everything alive on the high street, encourage more people to come, because we understand the knock-on effect that somebody who comes to us then might pay parking at a local car park, might just nip in to buy buy a loaf of bread from the shop, or just pick up a coffee from here on their journey home, or go to the post office, and then suddenly you're catalyzing all of this energy, all of this economy within itself, and hopefully that's the kind of impact that we were looking at, because it benefits us, but it benefits the high street as well.
You're very distinctive, aren't you? I can't think of anywhere else in North Staffordshire that's quite like the Quarter.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's born out of myself and Anne-Marie. We obviously were born and bred in Stoke-on-Trent, but we have been very fortunate to do lots of very different things and travel the world. And Anne-Marie was a performer in London. I was a professional athlete before this. So we travelled and we gained lots of things, and with our other businesses and work ethic around that, we just our eclectic kind of approach to life of not seeing anything as a challenge, just seeing it as an opportunity, really then embedded itself within the Quarter. And it was lots of nuggets of things that we liked, which can be a bit a risk, because not everything that you like everybody else likes. Subjectivity comes into it all of the time, but we just hopefully gave something that was different, first of all, but also something that was quite comforting. So it wasn't as polished as potential corporate things are. It had some rough edges to it, but hopefully they were endearing more so than a rough edge. And it's that putting that kind of optimistic slant on your take on, well, I'm cooking this food because this is what I've cooked all my life, and actually nobody's ever complained about it. So maybe somebody else will like it. And then suddenly you've got this whole variety of things taking place that does make you stand out, does make us very different. And I think one of the things we're very proud of, we have really stuck to that throughout. Very much.
I remember conversations so I was working quite close by at the Sentinel building when you first opened about 10 years ago, and I remember people in the office saying, oh, this new cafe's opened. It's not like anywhere else. It's like being in someone's living room.
Yes.
It really did feel like that 10 years ago, and you've still got that feel now, haven't you, a decade later?
Absolutely, because I think fundamentally with any successful brand, successful business, the key to its success is having the stability within.
Stability, but also the willingness to adapt.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. We all, as human beings, that's our way of succeeding in our own personal lives. We stay true to who we are, but we have to evolve and we have to change and reshape and adapt. And I think fundamentally keeping what's true as the brand in its heart gives it that stability, and then you can trust to make those changes. And I think that's really what we have done. And also, if it's not broken, why fix it? I think every time we've come up with a challenge that's potentially not any fault of ours, we've just had to react to that and make our brand work for that. But obviously we are human and we do make mistakes, and every time we've made mistakes, or we felt it didn't work, we've then still kept the core brand, but thought, no, that isn't for us, or that doesn't feel right. I think there is we are quite passionate, creative people as individuals outside of work, and I think that approach to the business is what we've really kept true. That we've probably become, more tired as we've got older, but we've never really lost that kind of passion of creativity and understanding that food is a creative art. Dining out, hospitality, it's a creative art form, and you have to use that element to your advantage, and it's right for some people and it's not right for others. Our aim is just to make it right for enough people to for them to enjoy it, and for us to have a sustainable business.
How many staff do you have now?
So it's about 64. And we have some fluctuations kind of over this period as students relocate back home, but will return in September. But vice versa, some local students who live away then come back at term time. But we tend to have quite a stable number, simply because we're at capacity and full and busy every week, regardless of whether it's Christmas or any peak times. So as we come into the next quarter, when we're looking at Christmas and everything, we actually don't really need to recruit anymore, because we have that workforce, which is good then, because then it means we haven't got to invest in too much training. Then people are well versed with what we do as we just go into a higher volume. They just have to work harder for longer. That's what I say to them. That shift is just a little bit more intense, but it's that's how it is.
And most of those staff, I guess, are local, like that.
Yes. So again, we have a real eclectic mix of staff, and I think because our business is quite unique, the staff that we employ also have to fit that and have to gel with it. Some
Yes.
people come and do trials and it's just not for them, and we have to be honest with them to say, oh, I just don't think this is for you. You need something a bit more stable, a little bit more structured, a little bit more very black and white. Ours isn't. We the transitions we have to do on a daily basis to fit all the the busy business model we have. So a lot work with us that are local, so because of transport, students, obviously we're close to university, so we have a number of students there. We have quite high populated areas in the Penkle area around, so we have a number of employees that can walk to work, and we also have a lot of employees that have been with us from Piccadilly, so we still have people I've got some staff that have been with us 10 years.
Oh, that's great.
And I think that in itself is testament to the business, because in our, it's a transient industry. Hospitality is, people don't see it as a profession or a career, which is sad, because actually you can make a really good profession and career out of it if you view it in that way. My chefing team have been with me many, many, many years. Again, they deserve medals, but they do. They are local, but actually from quite a wide range of the city. So it is, yes, they're local to the city, but we do have a lot that do take that time to travel in to work for us. And,
Yes.
Again, we reciprocate that by treating the staff with, as good as we can with bonus schemes. We try and get them to be part of the success of the business, not just working for us.
Yes.
There's lots of things that we try and build with the team, because without them we can't open the doors.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been really, really interesting talking to you.
No problem. We look forward to the awards.
Thank you.